Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is B from Kongs R Us, and welcome to The Next Level. This is my weekly podcast show where I bring you next level guests, things, community members that are absolutely next level. And today's show is no different. I have a couple of community guests that are lined up here to talk about the question that I put into the description here. Should we have to mod or upgrade our Arcade1Up machines, our AtGames machines, our iiRcades, anything that in the home arcade space? Are you ever going to get a perfect product? Or should there be some expectation that if you are a hardcore fan, a diehard, somebody that really cares about the quality of what you're looking at, you might have to partake in some of those upgrading and modding activities to get something that you truly want, something that you expect to have, and it may not just be able to be available for you. So I thought it would be fun to have that open discussion with everybody. I have a couple of guests backstage. And we're going to invite them on in just a second, but I did want to hype up another big thing that's happening in the community. So this past week, I was doing lots of community builds, but my favorite thing that I did recently was I partnered with Arcade1Up to find them a venue and a location to host a charity event, a community event, something that can bring people together, not only locally in Southern California, but across the country and around the world. If you are available and a fan of Arcade1Up, on July 9th, from 12 p.m. Pacific to 8 p.m. Pacific, there will be a community event at Smog City Brewery. I might even have a guest pop in a little bit later on to talk about the particular event too, so stay tuned. But please, please, please bookmark that in your calendar, and it's going to be awesome. In fact, he might have poked his head here a little bit to talk about it. The one, the only John D. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's up, B? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so I wanted to just allow you to continue to hype up this event because we have about 8 days left until July 9th. Tell people again who might not have seen the earlier video what the event is and why Arcade1Up is even doing it.
For sure. So, July 9th, on a Saturday, we'll be in Torrance, California, at a place called Smog City Brewery. And this is a charity and a community event. We'll be offering some pretty crazy sales. So, if you're in the LA area, I'd advise you to come by, have some drinks. There'll be food trucks over there and some crazy deals. So, and also if you're not from the LA area, I would still kind of tune in. There may be stuff for you guys to have as well. But yeah, this is going for a good cause for the disaster relief
Yeah.
for the Red Cross, and it's something that yeah, we're happy to do for the community.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing. So Smog City Brewery, here's the location of the event right now. So it's a beautiful tap room and brewery. They actually sell beers online. Some of the best selection of beers that I personally like. I've been to a lot of breweries. There's a lot in the Torrance area, but look at this beautiful venue here. We're
Mhm.
gonna be there from 12 p.m. Pacific to 8 p.m. taking over this venue with tents. We're gonna put up Arcade1Up cabinets for the community to play. So brand new people that have never seen it can come out and enjoy, as well as you, the Arcade1Up community. Let me know in chat. I see Jacob Romero's local. He's gonna come down. Ralphie's gonna come on down. Maybe we can get a mystery encoder who shows up in a hoodie to show up. That would
Yo,
be
I got the
fun.
FBI watching you, Mystery Encoder. We're just waiting for you.
He's got the FBI watching you. If Pinball version 2 is there, he'll be there. There it is. Very cool. So a couple of people are asking, will this event be broadcasted over the YouTube platform? So John, what do you want to do? Because that's a long day. I don't think we're going to be doing it all day, but do you want to do
No,
some sort of like community streams there?
yeah, we'll do some streams there
Okay.
on Kong's channel as well as our Instagram
Mm-hmm.
and possibly YouTube. We'll be streaming and we'll have some cool stuff to sell. We'll also have apparel there.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't want to buy a whole cabinet, there'll be things for you to purchase at a cheaper cost. But yeah, this is gonna be crazy. It's gonna be probably one of the biggest sales we've ever had,
Yeah.
and it's for charity. And we did this so we can we can support the community as well as support the Red Cross.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. So some people are asking, as soon as I posted it, they're like, John, can we come to Seattle? Can we go to New York? Like, what's the plan? Like, is this
Yeah,
the community event something you have potentially in the future in other
yeah.
cities?
This is probably the first of many. We'll see how this one goes, and we'd love to visit different areas. So yeah, be on the watch out.
Mm-hmm. So we have people in Ohio that want it. Let me know which city you want John and Arcade1Up to come visit, because it's cool that you're gonna be there in person. When you said that you wanted to be there, do you enjoy that interaction with the fans? Have you had? I know you get to do that at CES and other places, but this is kind of one of those few times where we're inviting the public to come out, and it's not kind of like that closed doors thing. This is going to be a good opportunity for you to meet your fans.
Yeah, I mean, I love doing that. I love meeting everyone in our community, and I mean, let's just hang out and talk games, and you can ask me like what the newest
Mhm.
games coming out this year is, and I'll probably not tell you, but we can talk about anything else.
He'll just have a shirt on the back of it that just says soon, and he's just gonna point
Yeah,
to it each time. Just be like, read it. It says soon. It's coming. You got Yambao who's in the Bay, and you're in the Bay too,
yep,
right? Is that something that
yep.
could happen?
We'll definitely do
Yeah.
something in the base soon, since
Yeah.
I'm there, and yeah, this is gonna be nuts. Like, make sure you save your money, uh,
Mm-hmm.
because there'll be a lot of stuff that you could buy for Christmas gifts and everything else. I'm talking about like really heavy discounts for the people there and possibly for people watching at home.
Yeah. Mike says no one wants to go to Texas. Yeah, you said it. Okay. But okay, so final thoughts on this particular event. Again, July 9th. Check it out. There's going to be more information on different socials. If you're a content creator, if you want to share it within your networks too, I'm just trying to promote it, because not only is this a good event for Arcade1Up, it's a charity event. So
Yep.
every or about 5% of most of the sales are going to go to Arcade, or not Arcade1Up, American Red Cross.
Mhm.
So it's a great opportunity to give back and know that those funds are really helping out good people. It's a near and dear organization to me. We're going to have a Red Cross presence there with a booth to give out some emergency preparedness items and things. So it's going to be a fantastic time. Anything else you want to say about the event?
That's it. I'll see you there, and looking forward to meeting everybody. And thanks a lot for having me on the show.
Yeah.
And again, I'm very excited about this. You're going to be very surprised for a lot of the great sales that we have in there.
I might have gotten a peek at the list, and I'm not allowed to say anything, but my eyes were like this big
Yeah.
at the list. So I trust John when he says that this is not something that you're going to want to miss out on, especially folks around the country, because not only the locals will get to participate, but I'm excited that you're bringing this to a lot of folks outside of this particular community.
Yeah, that's correct. So everyone can join in, but the people in LA will get the first shot of it.
First dibs, first crack. That's right.
Yeah,
Cool. All right. Thanks, John, for jumping in. Do you want to hang out? Are you good? Do you want to jump out?
I'll hang out for a little bit until
A
I
little
can.
bit? All right, cool, and
Not for
awesome.
long.
So today's topic, for if you didn't know,
Is
I've been
modding?
it's upgrading or modding? That's a good question. It's like, these cabinets themselves, they come out at a certain, value proposition, but there's some that want it to be perfect, and there's some that
Yeah.
are okay with, wanting it to do their own level upgrades to it. So, I actually have a guest behind the stage that is a third-party vendor, and I think you've mentioned this a couple of times, that you mentioned you like supporting their third-party vendors because it gives them an opportunity to upgrade products. So Laramie Griffith from Retro 530, how you doing,
What's up,
man?
guys? Good.
Yeah,
Hi,
so
B. How are
Laramie,
you? Hey,
good.
John.
Have
How
you
are you?
have you
Good to
met
meet
How
John
you.
are you?
before? Yeah.
I've kind of chatted with them in the comments and stuff like that, but not officially. So it's nice to meet you, John.
Great to meet you.
Yeah, so Laramie is from Retro 530, and he provides a service. Started off through Etsy, and now he has his own website where he does some of the most. Oh, he just took off. He's like, he's
Bye,
like,
John.
he's like, I'm out.
Hopefully, I didn't scare him off.
I know. He's like, oh shit, I gotta go. They're gonna be talking about modding now. They're on to me now. But that's all good. So that's too funny. Like I don't know if he clicked the wrong button or if he's just out. He said, they caught you, John. They're like,
Oh,
no,
there
take
he
me
is.
All right. So I was Laramie, so you provide a service to upgrade parts. Like, how would you describe your services? Are they really upgrades or mods? Like, how do you feel about, what you do for the Arcade1Up community with the services
I
you provide?
I think be like I was sharing something earlier. It's all about personal preference.
Mhm.
No doubt Arcade1Up, provides a great product, and it definitely brings back a lot of the nostalgia feels of how we grew up in the 80s and 90s playing these arcades. So, but there's things that people like to see, and whether it's light up buttons on the coin doors, or I help put the light up Big
Mhm.
Buck Hunter marquee out, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's not like it's not like anything necessary. It's not like anything that's kind of tapping in and changing anything that Arcade One Up's already doing. But it's just sometimes those personal preference things come into play where people are wanting to try to add that stuff and tie it in a little bit more.
I mean, I think some of the best products that are around are things that you can be able to modify and personalize. I mean, when you're creating a product that we're doing at a fraction of the cost of what the real arcades are, there's going to be compromises that you have to make. But it's good that we have companies like you, or maybe who want a little bit more authenticity, want to be able to upgrade their their cabinets, and we're all for that. We wish that people wouldn't have to do it, but you know what? There's always things that you can improve, and the one thing that we've seen is that we've taken a lot of the improvements from the mod community, whether it's the light up marquees, even the the light up deck protectors came from
Really? I'm kind of curious about that. So are there any other products that were inspired by the modding community?
There's so many. There's so many. So light up deck protectors was one, and the marquees for sure, and some suggestions like slanted slanted control panels, slanted monitors. Like, we've taken a lot for the community, and again, like we wish we had products that you didn't have to mod, but again, it's not realistic when you're talking about things that you have to offer at a fraction of the cost.
Yeah, and Chris brings up a good point that it's a balance. Were you going to say something, Laramie? Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. Read the comment.
Yeah, it's just that the product is for the masses. Some care, some don't. However, these new small companies like Retro 530 are making a living or side incomes for it. And this is this maybe more of a side hobby for you more than anything?
Yeah, I know that, I mean, I actually have a career. I work for the state of California. I'm a manager. Okay. And so this was, I don't want to take up too much time because we've got John D here, but I'll tell you what, John, this was something that I just wanted to kind of do to kind of help the passion with other people that are trying to add some little things here and there on their arcades, and like you said, make it a little bit more authentic to their personal preference. But
sure,
it was a couple of years ago is when I first got my hands on a Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, and just brought back a lot of memories of those times in the arcades. And kudos to you and your team for replicating that. Yeah, and then most importantly, supporting us too. The third-party vendors. For me personally, it started as a hobby, and then it just kind of grew, and then representing the YouTube community so well, and providing platforms for people like me and a lot of other people that he's had on here to really show off what they're doing. Because I'd say there's a lot of talented people out there, whether you're doing it on a CNC machine or you're 3D printing or you're doing graphics on vinyl. I mean, a lot of that stuff is, it takes time to learn how to do it. And you guys are doing it all in one package, but it's really nice to know that you support the third-party vendors out there that are, kind of tweaking it here and there, just to kind of add some personal preference for people that are looking for stuff like that.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's great that this business also encourages other side business of people to be able to profit on the wonderful hobby that we have.
Yeah, there's nothing like the necessity for creativity to create invention, right? Like that need to drive modders and people to get so creative with what can be done. You really get inspired. Me personally, when I host this show and I talk to really creative folks, I have somebody backstage I'm going to bring on in a little bit to talk about an extreme mod he did because something that came out wasn't quite what he wanted. So I'm going to bring on in just a second. But super chat from Rights RetroCade says, great to see you, John. Look forward to what new licenses you have in store for the next 18 months. Have a good show. So that's a sneak peek, because somebody's always going to ask when John D's on here, what licenses you got going on? Is that something that you can mention?
We have them all.
That's the disclaimer, because you got to ask. I know that it's going to come up there and say,
hey, we have them all. It's just a matter of when, okay, let me caveat. We don't have Nintendo, but
okay,
we're working on that one. But
there it is.
I mean, anything that you can think of, we have it. So it's just it's just a matter of when we release them.
Yeah. Thank you. Adam kept asking, hope these super chats go towards the Red Cross. I can do that. I can do that for the next week or so for any of the shows that I do. If I get super chats from this show or anything else, even the live streams that we do day of, I will donate all that as well to the Red Cross, just so we can little up that support. So I like that. Good idea, Adam. We're getting inspired by the community, so let's go. If we see any other chats and things, we'll make sure those donations go to the Red Cross as well. Satisfaction on a personal level, it's different for everybody. So very good. So lots of good stuff happening here. And so Laramie does like maybe some of the basic mods, light up buttons here, an extra marquee here. But what happens if you see something that is maybe missing a part that you remember, like on Star Wars? There was these amazing bezels on the original Star Wars arcade, John. And when you put together the Arcade1Up one, of course you couldn't 3D form bezels. You had to put it in the picture side of it. But
Yep.
have you seen all the mods for Star Wars and what
Shit,
people have
man,
done?
all those mods, especially the sit-down mods, they're amazing. But you know,
Yeah.
who's to say that in the future maybe an XL version may come out with the molded sides and everything else. I don't know.
Well,
It's
That would
possible.
be smart.
You heard it here first. XL Star Wars now it's gonna be in the rumor mill. But
I'm just throwing
That would
shit
be-
out there.
he's throwing shit out there. But if you don't have maybe the patience to wait for something like that, I'm gonna bring on a community member named Steven Good to the stream. Steven, how's it going, man?
Well, I was doing great until John says, "Hey, maybe we'll do an XL version of it. You won't have to spend a month in your den with a hot glue gun and styrofoam and an X-Acto blade gluing shit together."
So Steven I asked him to join the show because I was scouring the Arcade1Up and modding Facebook group, and I saw a recent post where he had revisited an old mod he'd done about 2 years ago. And for some reason, I've missed this mod, and it was one of the most fantastical cosmetic mods I've ever seen done on Arcade1 Star Wars. He is literally taking styrofoam and bits and cardboard and other things and creating these side bezel things. And I'm gonna go through a progression here. But as I go back down memory lane, Steven, why did you want to even go this route when you got the original Star Wars cab? Like, and what was missing? Like, you wanted to go through this extreme mod, but why?
Well, I'm a Star Wars fan first and a gamer second. I really didn't play a lot of video games growing up because I'm not any damn good at them. But being a Star Wars fan, yes, the Star Wars stand-up arcade got a lot of my coins, and then the Empire Strikes Back version did too, and the Return of the Jedi version, although it's a very frustrating game. And I actually owned a full-size Return of the Jedi arcade game in the early and mid-90s. I bought it right after college. And after we move a 400-pound video game a couple of times to different houses, you think, well, there's got to be an easier way to do this than breaking your back. And so I had that game, that full-size Jedi game, for 15, 20 years, and it still worked, and it looked beautiful. And it's just the architecture of it, the lines of it were beautiful. It's just a delightful piece aesthetically, and I hated to get rid of it. So when I saw the Arcade1 version come out, I'm like, I will get that. Yeah. And I got it, and it plays well, and it looks nice for what it is. It's you're hitting a price point. It all has to fit in a certain size box to ship it, and I get that. And for what you're selling it for, is perfectly fine, perfectly good. But aesthetically, there were some things missing. The first thing I did was get rid of that blue pinstripe. That's just U-trim. That's not even T-molding. That is U-trim. Snap on. I don't want to have to put any little wood thing down the middle of the MDF and try to push it all in there. So that's just U-trim. Easy peasy. And then I was looking at the mod Facebook page, and someone said, "Hey, I'm going to tilt back my monitor and look at that. Doesn't that look nice? Doesn't that look more like an authentic arcade game?"
That's a nice tilt on there.
The cogs started turning in my brain. I said, "Oh, if I tilt this back," and I just kind of did. I kind of loosened the side screws and tilted it back and pushed it back together and said, "Oh, well, if you do that, then you now have this nice triangle piece on each side there, and now you can start doing things to that. You can start making it look like the actual cab looked back in the 80s. And there's a lot of nice, you just staring at the ceiling, working it out in your head, working it out in your brain. Okay, how can I build this? What do I do? And he's scrolling through all the pictures. It started out with a foam core, just making foam core pieces and trial and error and saying, okay, make it out of foam core. And then the next step would be go and make it out of MDF. The side pieces there, there's a centerpiece that's MDF, and everything else is styrofoam. So I went to like Hobby Lobby. I admitted that, yes, I went to Hobby Lobby. Mostly Michael's. They got more of my money. And we're just walking up and down the aisles, looking at little craft bits of nonsense and just, putting everything in the cart. And then I'd go home and start cutting and test fitting until I made something that approximated those nice hydraulic pieces there.
Yeah.
But you can't paint styrofoam. You try to spray paint it, it turns to mush. It turns to goo. So there's this stuff called oh crap, now I can't think what it's called. Michael sells it in a little tub, and it's kind of like spackle. It's kind of like, like a nail hole in your drywall. It's like drywall spackle, but for styrofoam. And once you put that over the styrofoam and then sand it down, then it's paintable. So I made the shapes out of the styrofoam, and then once I coated it with this stuff to make it paintable, then I used Plastidip, which is this aerosol can of stuff that you can like spray on your hand tools, your wrenches, and your pliers and stuff to put like a rubberized coating on it. And that's basically what that is. The side pieces have this Plastidip rubberized coating, and then everything else is MDF.
Yeah.
But that whole piece you could lift out if you wanted to, and I could go back to the stock cabinet. I haven't done anything to it that I can't undo.
That's awesome. And so you went, I would say, the extreme side of this is absolutely a mod. This is a lot of effort to kind of take something that was already a good product and just completely blew my mind when I saw it. And I was like, it looks like it could be something that you truly purchase and things. So, I mean, John, when you see the community go through lengths to put this thing together, I mean, what does it say about like the modding community? Just kind of curious about your thoughts on people going through this length.
No, I love it. I mean, it shows me that people have a passion for it, right? Again, we're limited on what we can actually do for a commercial product.
Absolutely.
We're limited on, a lot of it is, the box that is shipped in. But, for people to be able to buy the product and to make improvements on it, it's a great thing. And I love seeing it.
Yeah. Laramie,
I've had a lot of people ask me how to vacuum foam. How could you vacuum foam something like this? Can we take the version you made and use it as a mold to vacuum foam? And it's like, I don't know how you do that. Again, it's styrofoam. You start heating it up, it's gonna turn to mush.
Laramie, when are you gonna start offering this on Retro 530 and start working with Steven?
Yeah, I don't know about that. That's a lot of work. But I will say, Steven, as a huge Star Wars fan as myself, it looks incredible. And one of my first arcades, and since John's here too, he probably knows this too, but I think the Star Wars arcade is probably their best arcade.
I agree.
Style wise and
probably top three.
Top three, okay, top three, but
top three.
And it's still holding its own. And you see people in the third market trying to get used ones, and they're paying a lot of money. And I'm sure, John, you noticed that
it's going on eBay for like $1,100.
Yeah, so
it's crazy.
So yeah, coming out with an XL, that might appease some of the customers that are not wanting to spend $1,200 and wait for your XL one. So Steven,
keep bugging us about that, because
there's money to be made there.
I think an XL version with no riser, a 19-inch screen with the molds, all that stuff, and I think that could sell.
I think I would have bought it already if you'd had one. Would have saved myself a lot of trouble.
I think. Right. I think, and if you you package it up like a private reserve, like you did with Dragon's Lair.
Oh man, did you guys like the packaging on that?
Oh yeah,
it was awesome. It was. Right. I put together a lot of Arcade1Ups, and that just was really cool to see everything come out of the pack. It looked like a special edition, like the whole process. I know B, you were live streaming it. There was a lot of wows. Everybody in the live stream were just impressed with the packaging and the little details. So that was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, really cool. I'd say one more thing about if there's a XL version of Star Wars. I mean, I think the mold that we have is amazing already.
Absolutely.
The compromises that we did on the yoke itself was basically, taking some of the metal pieces and turning them into plastic and all that stuff. But since we have the molds, it's definitely possible to reinforce something, pretty much having a yoke that's worth $500 in there,
Why would a guy talk so much about something that he was never going to release? Why? Why, oh why?
Because I say this a lot to try to garner interest, to see if there's, if there's any interest in it. And
he's setting the hook. He's setting the hook. He's getting the bite.
I send this video to people internally and say, hey, there's definitely interest out there. And again, there's got to be interest out there when people are spending over $1,000 on this SKU.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess that's a community question here. If you want to see something like a Star Wars XL or a Star Wars Pro or something, definitely let's do a quick informal poll because we love those informal polls. Put a 1 in the chat if you want to see it there, and we can just see it. If what else you want to see from a Star Wars XL, because you're already inceptioning it into our minds, John. You've mentioned it that it could happen, but I like that you're getting community feedback. And so I know that you're here, and when you ask those things to the community, and this is a great opportunity next week, July 9th, to
Yep,
interact with John because
I'll
you're
be there.
probably looking for fan feedback on things. You teased us a couple of weeks ago, even just asking about like, would people be interested in a Shredder's Revenge cab? Like when you do those things and are looking for community feedback, how real is that feedback in real time?
Well,
Like, are you
it's
looking
definitely
to
real
take that?
feedback. I
Yeah.
mean, it's funny that there's other companies who say, "Oh, we want this and that," but
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think they can do it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they have the relationships to do. We definitely do, but it's just like, is there a, you know, is there a demand for Arcade1Up to do it in ours? And if there's not, then
Mm-hmm.
that's what it is. But that's why I like getting community feedback. Just saying,
Yeah.
okay, you guys want it, let's figure it out. Because I did go to licensing show, and I may or may not have talked to people.
Yeah. That's the teaser. So the community feedback is real, and it's great that people have an opportunity to interact with you next week. So I encourage folks to come on out. It's just one of those things to you can talk and accept these things and ideas to John directly. Steven, you said it yourself. If it would have happened already, you would have gotten it. So
You would
I'm
have
sure
had my money.
would have been a fun opportunity to do that. So I know there's a lot of questions in here about. Go ahead. We're gonna say something, Laramie?
I was gonna say I love the fact that Arcade1Up keeps proving people wrong. There's so many cabs that they're like, oh, they'll never come out with that cab. They'll never come out with that cab. And once again, I hear it. Oh, they'll Shredder's Revenge. It's too much of a powerful game. They'll never be able to put it on Arcade1Up. It's just like, man, John D, I want you guys to put that out there just to keep proving people wrong, man. You guys are doing great things, with the relationships that you have through the licensing. So,
I think for a lot of these games, it's just a matter of when, like Shredder's Revenge and Streets of Rage 4. I mean, they may look like old school games, but they do take a little bit more horsepower than we have. But over time, some of these chipsets become much cheaper. And so there's always a possibility. But I can at least say, when I tell you that anything's possible, at least when I say it, is true.
Right.
That's Moore's law, right? Every 18 months, processing power doubles.
Yep.
That's true. Yep. Ezekiel, the Chicago Retro Ranger, says a 199 super chat. That's John. I do want a Shredder's Revenge cab. So there it is. He's putting.
Yeah, we got to figure out how that works, because Shredder's Revenge is 16:9. So do we put it on a 4:3 and then that's letterbox, or do we put the original on a 16:9? Do a 16:9 monitor, and then we put everything with slides. So it's something that we're definitely considering, because we know. I mean, we have the license for Turtles, and we have the license for. I mean, we're in great communications with Duetmu. So again, how do you say that? Duetmu, whatever.
.emu or Dotemu.
.emu or whatever it is.
I like saying .emu, but I've heard people say Dotemu.
I mean, so if anything, it's possible. Now it's just a matter of time. Can it happen?
Yeah. So in 16:9.
Well, you can do it by Intech too, right? I guess.
That is another way. Yeah, Intech Gaming, if you want to mod one of your existing screens and play it. And I do think in the options for it, they've had you can shrink to different aspect ratios in the game itself. So you've been able to play Shredder's Revenge on a 4:3 screen already. So it looks.
Yeah, I mean, we really listen to the community, and one thing that we've always heard is they just we just want way more Pac-Man SKUs, and so
I think somebody said it. It was like, ask them if there's more Pac-Man demand.
I mean, it's Pac-Man forever. You got to figure out, like, we only have over 3 million units out there, and that means that there's a lot of households with no Pac-Man. So
are there still? Do we have any paperwork to back that up?
Oh yeah,
I'm sure he does.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, like,
okay.
Again, 3 million units is not a lot of units. And so there's a lot of people who ask any of your friends if they know what Arcade1Up is. I bet you 7 out of 10 don't.
You assume I have friends. Maybe I'm misanthropic. Maybe this is the most adult conversation I've had all day. You don't know me.
We were just talking about that.
So John, when I was at Smog City or any of the breweries or locations I was looking to do the event, I was like, have you heard of this company called Arcade1Up? And they're like, oh yeah, no. And so
No,
I had to
which is
really
great for us,
sell.
right? And so
Yeah,
when
I had
people
to really
ask
sell
why
it.
we continue to do
Mhm.
Pac-Man, and Pac-Man is the highest selling game of all time in terms of revenue, as well as I believe in arcade actual units, and such a casual game. So usually a lot of people's first cabinets when they see a Pac-Man, I need to get that because of the nostalgia. So, but I think there's a misconception. Does having a Pac-Man mean that we don't do other cabinets? That's just not true.
Yeah. It's the same reason Hasbro puts out a new Darth Vader figure every 6 months. Like, doesn't everyone have Darth Vader already? They keep selling it.
It turns on the lights.
So I'm that consumer that, something new comes out and I got to get rid of the old stock. And every time I put, the old version of Miss Pac-Man or Pac-Man up on Marketplace, that's the one that goes the quickest.
Right.
That's the one that goes the
quickest.
Yeah. It does. Which helps. I get more room, and then I get the newest one.
But I'm really amazed about the mod community and how they can definitely upgrade these units. I mean, Steven, I saw you have those styrofoam molds. It looks amazing, and Laramie, you've done great work. It's like it's really a cool thing. Like I said, let's take Dragon's Lair for example. There's reasons why we couldn't make a 1-to-1 representation. Kong's showed that the marquee is in one piece, right?
Yeah.
Which had to be it. Awesome. But there's a reason why it's not even wider, because it was very hard to put that in the box, and also if you had a waterfall, basically the control panels waterfall up and down. That had to have been in one piece if you to do it that way.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that there's a lot, there'll be people to mod that. I think it looks great. But again, it's
great.
These aren't 1-to-1. We try our best to do it, but that's why we have the mod community to kind of.
This was important because that was community feedback from
the
2-year delay. If you want to talk about that, so
that was a 2-year delay.
From the original concept. But
do you want me to talk about that and why that happened?
Well, because I wanted to actually get to the part of the show, because I just opened 2 new cabinets, and there's definitely things on both the Mortal Kombat 30th that people want to see improved and upgraded, as well as this one. And when we talked about what upgrades we would do for Dragon's Lair, so we can start there. There's not a lot. I mean, you talked about the compromises, so I'd love to hear from you the story of the design change.
Sure.
And how you got to this version.
Yeah, I mean, so we were trying again to make as closely as possible 1-to-1 recreation. Of course, it has a riser, but again, having the control panel rise up to the monitor and all the way down would have caused that thing to be a one-piece design, which wasn't able to fit in the box. And, and again, having a deeper marquee was problematic as well. But the good thing is that we were able to source a 7, we call it a 7-segment alphanumeric screen. We're really happy with that one. The original had definitely where you can actually have the text as as a 7-panel, but that just wasn't being able. We couldn't source that, so we made some compromises, and of course we probably wanted a square square speakers. But again, those were difficult to source. But through it all, I think what great thing that people don't really understand is that the Dragon's Lair remix or the remasters aren't based on, well, so they were remastered, but the aspect ratio is much different, as you see, as say like Steam or iiRcade and everything else. They're pan and scanned, which means that there's a lot of graphic information missing on screen, where we were able to use the Daphne emulator and the original ROMs and everything else to have a true 4:3 experience that you see the full graphics, because if you put it side by side with, let's say, the console version, you'll see that ours is superior. And also, the remaster had cleaned up a lot of the flaws, which I don't think are flaws.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about film grain. Like, if you're a purist in video, you love that film grain in there. So there's that, and the timings are closer to the arcade. And again, we did, yeah. I mean, there always will be compromises, but we feel that this one was a great.
Do you remember this original design? This was like when you first released it. Yeah. So this was your talking about like that.
All we did here, and I think I photoshopped this one.
Did you? And it got released. This is on IGN's website right now from 2 years ago.
I mean, this is what we wanted to do. But we're still pretty close. To it. There was just reasons why we couldn't do it this way, but that was our intention. But hey, anyone who has that in homes, I think even Dragon's Lair purists are pretty happy with what they got.
I think so. I think even though this isn't the version that we got, Laramie, you got yours a couple of days ahead of me because I was jealous. I was like, oh, I was supposed to get it on Saturday. But
I'm up in Northern California, and I usually you could walk across the street and pick yours up.
I could have. It was in Southgate for a while. I was like, dang it.
And I got a shipping notification Friday, like a lot of us, and it said it said Monday, and then delayed to Tuesday. And then I was out of the front yard on Sunday, and the FedEx truck showed up, and I was like, wow, okay. So it was a good surprise.
Yeah. And so I was just saying, like, most of the people that have gotten it, and again, this cabinet, I have not seen. This is the latest version, obviously, the newer render of it. There wasn't a lot of negative feedback that I saw in terms of improvements. There's maybe a handful of things that I maybe would have liked. Would have been maybe that waterfall design. Some of potentially you might be able to light up the buttons, but besides that, there's like, I can't think of anything else. But Laramie has already done some mods to it though, so leave it to the mod guides to already put something together for Dragon's Lair. Laramie, do you want to talk about what you already did? What could you do to already improve a cabinet that is already so good?
Well, one of the things was yes, lit up the coin door, which those things are awesome, by the way. You guys really nailed the design on that. And it's proven, everybody likes them. And even on the third-party market, there's, people are paying a lot of money for them. But the cap covers,
this is what I'm talking about. So, John, look at the difference between just the screw cap covers on the left and in the right, right?
Yeah.
So put Retro 530 in business. It doesn't look like it got shot up now. It's so
you can go to Home Depot and buy that for like a few dollars anyways.
You can. So,
you can.
But that's really good. I like that he did. So this is a must. I did this on my Tron. It made a huge difference. And with Tron, unfortunately, there's some artwork that's being covered, but this looks fantastic. So love it.
The before side looks like there was a shootout at the 7-Eleven or something.
Exactly. And then that's a custom. So yeah. Sorry, that's not confirmed. That's Laramie's custom.
Don't get John too excited.
That's the 49ers though, right? John, would you get a 49ers Blitz cab if you could make one yourself?
Look at him.
If there was a Blitz cab, I would definitely love a 49er version if we were to make one.
If what? All right, so this is Laramie's custom there. He's a 49ers fan.
I'm a big 49 fan too.
Yeah, I know. There it is. And then did I go the other way? So so you did
what, you put another LCD strip on the marquee?
I did.
Yeah.
I was really impressed when I pulled the marquee out of the box and it was complete. But I'll be honest, with the marquee and Big Blue, I always kind of found them a little too dim, and that's just personal preference for me.
Yeah.
But it, I'm curious how you guys did it. So I opened it up, and I was really impressed. The graphics is reverse printed on a thin acrylic, which I will note that for anybody that's wanting to upgrade to, Space Ace or something, it wouldn't be too difficult to take that insert out, get one replicated, and put that in there and put the top on it, and you'd be good to go. So the design is very, very good, very clever. Like I said, just personal preference. It was a little too dim for me. I added an LED strip in the back. I thought it kind of made the colors pop a little bit more. But like I said, it's just all personal preference on my end.
I'd love a Space Ace version.
I'm sure now that Retro 530 has incepted it, he could buy a second of these premium cabinets and make a space. So that's
The,
true. Like a lot of people could
there's
do that now, right? It's just a
yeah,
simple graphic on the
yeah,
side, the marquee, and then maybe the riser bottoms, flipping it around. That's
Pretty
it. It's very
much.
simple
yeah, yeah.
to make a
If
space
that
case
all
for
that
it.
is just an insert, it wouldn't be too
Hmm.
difficult. You take off the top. There's three screws on top, and then you loosen up the sides, and the top pops off, and that graphic slot, the insert kind of pulls up, and you could put a new one down and put the top on, and be good to go.
Yeah, and then the last thing, of course, Laramie and the light up coin buttons. Those look really cool. So this is a kit that you provide. In fact, Laramie was going to give away a kit of this, right, on today's stream.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. We'll give
excellent.
away one.
So let's go ahead and start collecting that right now. Go ahead. So we're going to type in Retro 530. That's Laramie Griffith's site. So just go ahead and type in hashtag Retro 530 and you can get one of these light up kits for, is it going to be a single player, double player, one of those options?
Just a single, mostly for those that are
Okay.
getting their Dragon's Lair, because I know
Got
a
it.
lot of people are still waiting. So
Okay. All right. So put it into the chat. We'll do a quick giveaway. And yeah, so those are the upgrades. But that's it. I mean, it's purely cosmetic. There's nothing else, John, in terms of this cabinet that I think you can upgrade. And it's beautiful. What can I say? It's one of the
it's
best
a great,
cabinets.
great,
And
great cab.
can you talk about the packaging? Like, you're muted, by the way, John. Like, why the decision to go premium package? I think that surprised a lot of people,
Yeah,
including myself.
we were waiting for another product to actually use the Supreme. It started with the Supreme cabinet, and we wanted to make sure that, really this is a limited run.
Mhm.
So we wanted to kind of, you're talking about this being for the real hardcore Dragon's Lair fan, and so we just wanted to make, do something extra special for it.
Yeah. It was good. And so that style of packaging, you've done it before because of the Supreme style for it. Is that something that you would revisit again for other limited, or was this something just for Dragon's Lair? Because like, why this cab? Because it was a limited edition online exclusive.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's because we spent so much. There's probably the one cab that we spend the most in development in, and so we wanted to
I
go,
see.
since we already spent so much time on that. Why don't we just go to the extra mile and make
Okay.
these Dragon Lair fans happy? And it won't
Yeah.
be the last time, but you'll
Okay.
probably see them, in very exclusive and more premium products.
There's a
Like a Star
handful.
Wars XL, maybe.
Star Wars XL. I like it. There's definitely a handful of cabs that were like near perfect, that were pretty much only cosmetic, that you might want to change. I would say one was Star Wars when it
Yeah,
first came out, was a very cosmetic one. Tron, you
yeah.
knocked that one very much out of the park and
I think
Force
Golden
Factor.
Tea was
And this
one.
one,
Also, the first
original Golden Tea,
Yeah,
first one.
I don't think there's really not much to mod on that one, unless you want to add coin doors to that as well. But
Cosmetically, I'm sure some people, I think there are a lot of people that swapped out the trackball for an LED version of it or something like that. So
yeah, you can
there's
do
other
that.
things like
You
that.
can do
But
that.
but like control, performance wise, all that good stuff. Like those three, Star Wars, Tron, and Dragon's Day, for me, those are some of your biggest titles that I think. I mean,
Probably Marvel vs. Capcom Special Edition.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I like that. Well, Marvel vs. Capcom, not the Marvel Superhero
Oh
Special
no, Marvel
Edition.
Superheroes. Marvel Superheroes.
You like that one with the soundbar buttons? I didn't
Yeah,
get that one.
I think that was a
Yeah.
good one.
All right. So here it is, Retro 530. We have 54 people. Last chance to put in hashtag Retro 530. We're gonna pick a winner right now to get some light up buttons. Last chance in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The winner. Please email me at kongsorus.arcade@gmail.com. I will connect you with Laramie. And the winner, you, Mr. or Mrs. Ashley Bradley.
Ashley,
Right.
congratulations.
Hooray.
Congratulations, Ashley. So email me at kongsorus.arcade@gmail.com, and I'll put that in the chat as well. And then please email me. I'll connect you with Laramie. So congratulations, you are a winner.
Congratulations.
Yay. Cool. Excellent. So for folks that are just joining in, John was here early on. We started the stream talking about this community event that's happening. So as we kind of get near the end of the show, John, you want to recap again what's happening next week on July 9th?
So July 9th at Smog City. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep. You sound good.
Yeah, at the Smog City Brewery, we're having a charity and community event where you can see me, B, I'm pretty sure other people from the community like
Bobby
To Die
Boop.
For will be there. Yeah, yeah. And we're gonna have a pretty amazing flash sale, and partial proceeds goes to the disaster relief for Red Cross, and also there'll be opportunities who people who aren't attending in LA to take advantage of some of these sales. So it's probably the biggest sale you've ever seen. So save up your money, buy some stuff for Christmas. This is like a 1 day sale, and mark your calendars.
Yeah, for anybody that's close to LA, there'll be inventory there. But again, stay tuned. Mark your calendars. Get your wallets ready. It's good. I'm gonna go back and catch some super chats because I missed them really quickly. So I want to make sure that we recognize those. So Ezekiel, the Chicago Retro Ranger, was asking about Star Wars trilogy. I know that's something that's been asked of you for a while, but you had mentioned about maybe
Yeah.
that's still chipset wise, not something that's
Yeah,
commercially
I
available
think
yet.
once the chipsets are in a commercial level, then
Mhm,
that game will probably be a release. It's just a matter of,
mhm,
here's the thing. The lower the least powerful chipset you have, the more money it takes for development. So there's like a
mhm.
balance, right? So if
Yeah.
you start with a really good chipset, then the development cost and the time, is a lot less. So it's just a balance. Like I say, it's only a matter of when. And I'm not confirming we're going to do that title, but of course it's on our radar.
Yeah, sounds good. Great. And then Billy Wright came a
What's up,
little bit late.
Ezekiel?
We had talking about Star Wars re-release. So you were talking about potentially XL versions or even just a straight re-release. I think 19K Fox recently did a stream that gave some options. Like, would you ever go back and do straight re-releases of old cabs that were very popular, or would you just
Yeah,
go the next
yeah,
version like
we're
XL?
definitely looking into that.
Okay. All right. So it's
I mean,
possible.
it could be a straight re-release with no riser. That's one thing
Mhm.
that we're looking at. We're just something will happen, I think.
Okay.
John, do
All
you
right.
know if you guys have plans? Sorry to interrupt, B, but I know a lot of people have been asking this, at least for me. Do you guys have plans on re-releasing Buck Hunter, maybe in a different form factor, or re-releasing the
Yeah,
actual
that's
Pro or
definitely
World?
being considered. Hopefully, if we do that, then we'll have online leaderboards and
Cool.
Ooh.
possibly a tournament function.
Wow.
Hopefully, but we'll see. Again,
Cool.
I'm not confirming anything, but these are kind of the wish lists.
Cool.
Nice. Awesome. Very cool. All right.
Very
EPT
cool.
Cyclone says, John, I'm an outside sales exec and I want to sell your product, possibly to hotels, children's hospitals, etc. Have you guys thought about going commercial, or is that a different beast in terms of your ability to sell to the public?
Uh, it's in consideration. If we do co-commercials, probably more of the smaller,
Mm-hmm.
like barcade, smaller mom and pop stuff and everything
Mm-hmm.
else. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's something we could consider.
I've seen some like pizza parlors with them and some other
Yeah,
like bar
yeah,
pens. So yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Got
I'd
it.
love to see him in children's hospitals for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. Excellent. All right, Kings, as John D at Disney Afternoon Cabinet, the chat has ideas. Do you know what that is? Do you know?
Yeah, I do, but
Yeah.
those are console games.
Yeah, yeah, all those NES games that they're talking about, like Chip and
Yeah,
Dale, DuckTales, all that stuff.
yeah.
I think that's what Nostalgia was talking about. So they were talking about it's a shoe-in for best cabinet ever release if you have 5 massive titles for Disney Afternoon.
Well, like Chippendales and
Tailspin, Chip and Dale, Rescue
Tailspin,
Rangers, and
Rescue
DuckTales.
Rangers,
Yeah.
DuckTales. Yeah.
All right, I think that's a nostalgia. Nostalgia is coming. Can you answer the question everybody's asking for? When are we gonna get the Lion King Disney arcade cabinet? Throw Aladdin out there.
Lion King's never been in the arcades, but if we plan to do something with the console side, we definitely have rights.
Yeah, very cool. All right, and I think we're pretty much caught up now. There's maybe one other one. Yes, here it is. Okay, Ezekiel, again, another with the 599 super chat. Thank you. Laramie is an awesome guy. His products are the best. Can't wait to work with him for future mods. Thank you, Laramie, for jumping
Thank you.
on, talking a little bit about it. Console Kits does say nothing is confirmed until it's confirmed, and even then, it may not be confirmed. That's the way things go when John's on a stream. You never know which way it's gonna go. But let me take you back about a year and a half ago, John, because Super Bowl on Super Bowl day when you did your show, you did a lot of teasing with different shirts. Has everything on that show come to fruition yet, or are there still things
Now,
that if
there's
you go
still
back and
things
look
like
at it? It's on the
That was
roadmap.
me trolling. There's so many different hints there that probably won't even be in fruition for the next couple of years. But there are things that I don't know. Super Bowl show. There could be a game that takes advantage of the Super Bowl, maybe.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Hmm.
You heard it is talking about all these different cab requests. That was great to, tease out that there still might be more to come. Steven, do you have any final kind of thoughts about your build that you want to share, things that you're working on, any other future cabs that you might purchase?
Working on. I'm a middle-aged guy. I'm just trying not to be dead at this point. Are you kidding? I mean, I never leave the house. You would think I would have more things going on here in the house to keep me occupied. But once I did this, I think I'm done. I think I'm out. I made it look as close to what I remember the original version looking like as I could, given the parameters of what I had to start out with. You're limited to what the size is, and you just kind of make it fit given what the space of the box is to begin with.
Yeah.
I'm happy with it. I think I could do it in half the time.
Would you trade your version if they made an actual XL or Pro version with the bezels?
Well, I'd have to see it. And I got this one for a pretty sweet price. My particular Walmart was trying to get them to find new homes quickly, and so I didn't pay much for it. And so
kudos.
whatever I spent modding it, I'm still way ahead of the game.
The FBI got on John. He said like, he's talking too much Star Wars. He's talking too much hints and things. So he
the
dipped
doorbell
out.
rang.
Not sure if he's gonna
They're
come
raiding
back.
the place.
I see everybody putting in different things about what you want to see. So it sounds like John is taking this community feedback to heart. If you want to see something else, definitely put it on here. You might take a look back at it and see it. Laramie, any other final thoughts you want to talk about upgrades and mods for Retro 530? Thanks, John. We thought the FBI got you again.
No, just great job, Steven, on your mod. I love the Star Wars cab and what you did. I've been there and done that with maybe not that much work, but man, you put a lot of heart and time into it, and it shows right there in the corner how much you appreciate it, and kudos to you. So
thanks.
And John, always good seeing you on these streams, helping us out, kind of understand what's going on with the future Arcade1Up, and
Thank you.
And thank you
in a vague, nebulous way without actually considering anything.
As much as I can say.
It's entertaining and people love it, and keep proving them wrong, John. Just keep proving them wrong.
I like the way he looks off to the side like his attorney is just out of the shot going, yeah, you can confirm. No, you said too much. And then the stream goes dark for a minute. You're like, what happened? It's the lawyer's got him giving him one of these. Like, I told you not to say that.
It's my PR team cutting off the stream.
Oh, okay.
All right, before we do, Seth asked about doing a petition. Would it get you Qbert? I think there's been a lot of Qberts with the release of the smaller version. What do you think?
Let's talk about Qbert one last time, right?
Okay.
I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Qbert. Doesn't mean it's not going to happen, right? Qbert, I guess.
It's the cursing, right? It's the cursing that he does that turns you off, right? Qbert's got a potty mouth.
It's the game doesn't necessarily hold up well, but that's not the real issue. It's like, yeah, you can make a Qbert cabinet and probably have maybe 2 or 3 games on there. Will it sell? I don't know. I think that's the big issue. But look, Dragon's Lair wasn't going to happen until there was a big, petition on it. So
yeah, that's true. Dragon's Lair started off as a petition by a community member.
Is Zaxxon another one of those games that has a weirdly oriented controller that would also be
it's the controller, and like what else would you put on that cabinet? And would it sell 3,000 units? Would it sell that much? Who knows? We have we look at a lot of our current data, and we make assumptions based on the data we have, and a lot of these games that we feel would do well doesn't necessarily do well, right? So it's one of the things that we have to be sure when we release a product that it sells. So there's a lot of things in there. Huh?
Oh, I was going to say, when you say 3,000 units, is that based on like a certain amount of time that you guys are hoping to move those units?
No, I think 3,000 units is a sweet spot in terms of minimum order quantities, right?
But you guys don't want them sitting there for a year, right? You guys
exactly, because then you have then you have to pay for, warehouse costs and things like that. So I know there's been a lot of chatter about Qbert, and if someone does a petition, again, petitions also only go so far. Like, they people can sign it, but will they actually,
Make that purchase.
make that purchase? So
what if they wrap the petition up in a crisp $5 bill? See what a little Abe Lincoln can get doing. Right.
Come to July 9th, and then
I've
you
been
can
saying
buy him
this
a
for
beer.
a long time. I would love some sort of crowdfunding program where people put their money where their mouth is and
He
say,
did it with the Infinity Game Table, and it sold a
yeah,
million.
you put $20 in or $25 in, and something like that. But
well, if you pre-sold enough of them, people put the money on the barrelhead and committed to.
Yeah, for sure.
It,
it just shows some commitment. So, yeah, I mean, Hubert is an okay game.
So here's what you got to do. You got to go to Smog City Brewery on July 9th. When you buy John D a beer, you will be able to make your suggestion on what you want to get. So.
Buy me a beer and then give me your game suggestion.
So you hold the beer, you make him listen to whatever you want him to do, and then you give him the beer.
And then everybody says tapper, 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 tapper. Okay, so Console Kids, and then I'm gonna have you on the stream because you're here. Console Kid says Hubert can have a TN monitor. Nobody will mind. So I did want to mention, because this is the Mortal Kombat 30th from the left-hand side compared to everything else. It looks okay. It doesn't look that bad from it, but the right-hand side is when it really starts to wash out. So John, can you put to rest for those that really wanted to know, what happened with these latest versions of legacy cabinets that got this level of monitor, so that people can hear it from you?
I mean, so like it's really a matter of availability, right? And so, we hope to have unlimited quantities of the BOE, and that it's just not feasible, especially with competition more on, on the IPS monitors. We would have loved to be able to do BOE and everything, but now that they're a little bit more limited, and cost does play a factor, because when you have limited quantities, prices go up. And I hear there's rumors that it's only $5 upgrade. That's totally untrue. But if you look at this, right, it's the viewing angles are fine when you're watching straight through it, even from a good left angle. The only time it really washes out is an extreme right angle.
Correct.
And nobody plays it that way.
Yeah.
But having said that, I do understand. The BOEs were great monitors, and we're trying our best in the future to to include BOEs in all of our future models, but at least with our premium price points. But you got to know that, I mean, this Mortal Kombat is $500. I think that's a great sweet spot. Now, it would have been better if you had BOEs, sure, but I mean, I think it looks good. So. But again, having said that, I do understand that the BOEs are an amazing monitor.
Yeah. No, thank you for addressing that. And just since I had it here to be able to, I mean, from this angle, if it's on the left, it looks okay. I got to move my Mortal Kombat all the way to the right side, so I don't see
the right side
that angle.
Like even to the extreme right side, that's when you probably see a little bit more washout.
Correct.
The people
like
who
the real estate agent says, location, location, location.
Exactly. So stick it on the right of your monitor, and like look at this from this left-hand angle. I get it. It doesn't okay. And you had mentioned availability and that price point of $500 sweet spot when this version came out. Personally, I thought it was, like you said, you finally got back to a sub 500 price point after a year and a half of increasing cabs. And this, even though this is a legacy, it's a new form factor, bringing in some new sweet spots. So I think there was some good compromises there, but I appreciate you.
Well,
really,
I mean, also remember during COVID, prices had to go up, and then people were thinking, "Oh, it's never going to go down." Well, we're showing you already that we understand there is a sweet spot for price point for this. So, we kept to whatever I promised, saying that the prices would eventually even out again.
Yeah.
Now, again, if we have a limited stock of BOE, that will likely, and things will change, but likely be for more of a higher end products. And again, we're hoping everything has BOE, but again, it's just not realistic. Look at our other companies in our space. There's so many different SKUs that that have different monitors, and to be fair, this is not a BOE Arcade1Up cabinet. This is an Arcade1Up cabinet. We're beholden to whatever the availability of these parts are. So again, I understand where people are coming from, that these are things that we're working through, and the pandemic is still real.
Yeah. And thank you for sharing it. And part of the last thing I wanted to say for upgrading or modding, this is really preference at this level. Can you play this at its current screen level? If you're like truly in front of it playing it, you can. If you want to do an upgrade, you can, because you can now purchase, and Console Kits and I were talking about this. It's about a $40 to $45 monitor that you could do a replacement. I just got it in stock. Right here, it's a Dell 1708 monitor that they sell. There's millions of these out there, and I'm gonna decase this and gonna try to do a mod because it's my preference. It's one of the things that I do personally that I like to. Do you have to? Probably not, but there's options out there. And so bringing Laramie on, bringing Steven on, it's to show that it really does, depend on your personal preference on what you want to do, whether it's an upgrade, a mod, a cosmetic piece of functionality. Would we like these to be perfect? 100% yes, but options are out there. Check out Retro 530. Be inspired by Steven to go crazy with styrofoam if you want to build your own thing. But options are there, and I hopefully can show people that if you want to do these options, it's not that hard to partake in some of these modding activities. So that's what I've always dedicated my channel to, is to make modding as simple as possible. So yeah, final thoughts, John? Anything you want to mention before we close out?
Yeah, again, July 9th, 2022. For the people in the LA area, get there a little early so you get the first shot at the cool cabs that we're selling for charity. And also, watch some of the streams that are going to happen. B will do a stream, I'll do a stream. And again, there's likely some cool deals if you're not in the LA area.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And again, thank you for the mod community for making our products better.
Thank you.
With collectibles and everything else, the best kind of products are the ones that you're able to modify, like cars and stuff like that. I like new rims. Who doesn't? So anyways, thank you so much for having me. And
yeah,
Jeremy and Steven.
And Seth Lacey with the $20 super. He's already buying you a beer. I'll buy you the first beer, Seth, for this, and to get that to you. That's great. So thank you so much for that. July 9th, check it out. Let's put a challenge out there to anybody else who's a content creator out there that's watching. John, what if we asked other content creators to host a stream and you would join them like live day up?
Yes.
And that way we can
anyone who wants me on this show to promote the July 9th, I'm there. So
there it is. Let's call it out. Let's get John out there. Laramie, Steven, John, thank you all so much for joining in. Have a wonderful rest of your Thursday. See you on July 9th.
Thanks, guys. Good talking with you. Take care.
Thanks for inviting me.
Sitting